was the last time that you thought to yourself, I am not where I want to be? Or you looked at a commitment that you have to yourself or to someone else, maybe an employer or a friend, and you realize there's some resistance there and you're totally procrastinating, not taking any action that you committed to doing. Or when was the last time you looked back on something that's already happened and you realize it didn't go anywhere near like you planned? It happens, all of those scenarios happen quite a bit, right? And because life is totally unpredictable and it never acts out according to the screenplay that we have written in our heads. So my question today for you is, have you noticed what your inner dialogue is saying in those moments? Whether you're currently not where you want to be, or doing something that you think you need to be doing, or you're looking back and you're wishing a situation played out totally different than it did. Most of us in those moments start shoulding on ourselves. I should be doing this. I should be more motivated. I should be getting this project done. I should fulfill that commitment. I should be nicer to my spouse. I shouldn't get upset with my kids when they don't listen to me. I should have been able to get through that birth without taking medication. Whatever your should is, I want you to know I totally get it, because I'm fighting a lot of shoulds right now too. I've got a lot on my plate, business and personal wise, with just projects that I've been meaning to get done forever that feel really stalled, either from a lack of inspiration or motivation or just my own internal fears and blocks that I'm trying to work through. And even in my own personal development stuff that's coming up, that old stuff that's needing to be healed and dealt with. And so I'm finding that I'm having to fight a lot of shoulding on myself. And so I wanted to share today 4 tools that will combat shoulding. And the tools that I'm trying to hold tight to get me through where I am right now. And I really hope they help either in the present or as you reflect back on a situation that didn't go as you hoped it would. So number one is to Byron Katie that bullshit. If you know Byron Katie, she has this amazing program called The Work, and it's so simple but so profound. And one of her first questions when you have a thought about something is to ask yourself, do I absolutely know this is true? So, for me, I've got this project, this amazing, birth yourself kind of mini course that I'm hoping to launch very soon. And it should have been done a long time ago. Do I absolutely know that that's true, that it should have been done a long time ago? No. I don't know what missing pieces there are to it, what inspiration I'm still waiting to get. It's all still coming clear as I kind of just sit with it and allow it to be. But that question can be really powerful and can get us out of that shoulding talk to ourselves. This should be this way. Do I absolutely know that that is true? Really powerful question. Number 2, this kind of a follow-up to Byron Katie's work is a question of who would I be without that thought? And number 2, that really plays into number 2, which is really having compassion for wherever we are and whatever has happened in our experience. Without the should, who would I be if I wasn't shoulding on myself? Who would I be if I was no longer believing that things should be different? And how can I have compassion for myself for where I am, either right at this moment or for decisions that are already done and gone and that I can't change? How can I have compassion for myself? And that may be as simple as just realizing, who would I be without having that shoulding thought? Number 3, if your situation is already passed and you're shooting on something that you really can't change because it's already been played out, look back on that situation, and instead of getting stuck in the should, ask yourself, what can I learn from how it all happened? From the decisions that I made, from the circumstances that were going on at the time. What can I learn from that? And number 4, if you're still in that situation right now, if the shooting is happening right now according to where you are and what's happening in your life right now, switch that around, that should around to what could I do to move myself through and out of this circumstance or this way of being that is uncomfortable and not where I want to be. What could I be doing? What steps could I be putting into action to get me where I want to go? That could be, if you're lacking motivation, what could I do? Maybe I can, commit to a writing practice. Whatever it could be. It could be a lot of stuff, depending on whatever you're shooting on yourself about. So let's recap. Number 1, let's Byron Katie that bullshit and ask yourself, is it really true? Whatever your should statement is, do I absolutely know that it's true? Number 2, how can I show compassion for myself for exactly where I am or exactly what has transpired that I can't change? Number 3, if it's already in the past, what can I learn from how it all transpired? What am I supposed to learn from what my choices were, from how the situation played out? And number 4, if I'm still there, what could I be doing right now to move myself out and through? What action steps can I put into motion that'll move me out of where I am into where I want to go? I'm concentrating on these right now because really shooting on ourselves is just such an unhealthy practice, and it keeps us stuck in the past, keeps us stuck in something we can't change. So let's move it into both the future, both the present, of what can I learn from this, which then moves us into the future of taking different steps to move us into the direction that we want to go. So the next time you find yourself shooting on yourself, please keep these 4 very simple tools in mind, and I hope they help you kind of have a little more compassion for the space that you are in, more compassion for yourself. One thing that I really always try to remember is something that a mantra that my good friend and coach has drilled into me, Amy Wong. Everything is always on purpose. And if it could have been another way, if we could have made another choice in the moment, we would have. There is nothing wrong with what has happened. There's nothing wrong with where we are even right now, even if it's not where we want to be. Use those 4 tools to look back on your situation, see if it's true, find compassion for yourself, learn what you need to learn, and then move forward in a proactive way. Thanks for joining me today. Please come see more of me at shaunabrandes.com, and I will see you next time. Bye.